Alright, this video is going to show a method for a warrior to solo Tuath'de Coven on expert mode. The reason you might want to do this is because the best in slot offhand weapon that drops in Tartaric Depths normal, TD normal, requires 10 runs of Tuath'de Coven in order to upgrade it. So I'm going to show that weapon right here. It's called the Tempered Star, and the upgrade path is a metal weapon amender, 2 engines, and then running expert Tuath'de Coven 10 times. Alright, so first I'd like to show you the location that we're at to enter the Tuath'de Coven. So here's a map of Scathern Forest, and I am sitting right on the entrance, the portal. I kind of use this light green area right here as a reference. You got to come up the road and go around this and come in from the northeast. I guess I also wanted to show the closest portal to get here is going to be the Shadow Market, and you'll have to leave the Shadow Market going southwest and then just follow the road around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go inside the dungeon. And there's Tazwell. I'm going to open the map. You'll see that there is a quest objective here to stop the ritual. All you have to do is walk up to that location, and then you'll continue east and then north to this large room, and that's where the first boss is. So before I get into the fights, I just want to show you what my setup is real fast. So I'm using the Riftblade build. This is a common build. It's published on the web. It is a popular level 70 rating build. And if you want to take a close look at it, you can go ahead and pause the video here and check that out, compare that to what you're doing. I do want to point out one important thing in this build is stand tall. Notice my tooltips are in the lower left part of the screen. But stand tall is going to be important here, just to keep you alive. You need some kind of survivability in your build to solo this. Okay, and then I wanted to point out my buffs are here on the 4th hotbar on the right side, and so Deep Breaths, Blade of the Ascended, Avatar of the Rift. I'm not going to go through them all. I mean, I'm not saying you have to use this build to do this. I'm just going to show you how the dungeon works with this particular build. I'm sure you can do the same things with other builds. The other thing that I wanted to make sure and point out that's going to be important in at least one, maybe 2 of the fights is the macro for interrupt. Okay, and you want to make sure, so in this build the interrupt is called Wind Spear. Okay, and you want to make sure that this macro has a cast at focus. Okay, because in one fight in particular you will have to be targeting ads, but also interrupting the boss. So you'll make the boss your focus, and while you're fighting ads, you'll have to hit your interrupt on the boss. I just want to point out that this is a standard way to set up the interrupt macro, because if you don't have a focus, then it will automatically simply cast Wind Spear at whatever your target is. All right, I'm going to work my way to the first boss, and then we'll continue. Okay, so we've arrived at boss number 1. It is Mossclaw and his keeper, Marcietha, over there on the left. going to show an alert for this fight called Fungal Bloom. This is the one that I choose out of the two abilities that Mossclaw does. When I'm solo, I choose to interrupt this one because it does a lot of damage. You can write down the particulars if you want, but the key is it's called Fungal Bloom, and you want to catch your focus target when he's casting it. And that'll be your interrupt, your target for interrupt. Mossclaw also does a second ability. If there's someone with us, we would have them interrupt the other ability called Thunderous Stomp. But with only one of us here, we can only really count on interrupting one of them. So we'll deal with Thunderous Stomp a different way. So let's get the fight started. Just going to attack Mossclaw. Marcietha is not doing anything at this point. She's actually shielded over there. And this Thunder Stomp didn't knock me back for some reason. There was Fungal Bloom as well. So sometimes I'll do Fungal Bloom right after the Thunder Stomp. I might have been out of range of the Thunder Stomp, and that's why I didn't get knocked back that time. Here comes one that's going to knock me back, and it doesn't knock you back really that far. So positioning for Thunder Stomp will become more important later on, because we'll have less space to work with, but we'll get to that. So right now we're just DPSing the boss down and watching to interrupt Fungal Bloom. I believe in this fight, this particular fight, I didn't get Fungal Bloom more than once, just the initial one time, which is kind of odd. But that's the one I wanted to interrupt because it does do quite a bit of damage. I don't think it'll kill me, but that's the more dangerous one. Something goes wrong. All right, Mossclaw's getting down pretty low, and what's going to happen is he's going to put up a shield, or she's going to put a shield on him actually, and he'll become invulnerable, and then like that, and then now we're going to attack Marcietha, and Riftblade does more damage in melee, so I'm going to go melee her. Notice the red area at the edge of the arena here. It just got bigger. So that red area is going to keep moving in. And that red area, if you stand in it, will do damage pretty quickly. So you don't want to be in that. So that's the idea that's why Thunderous Stomp is of any concern, is you don't want to get knocked into the red. So I'm always going to position him so he does not knock me into the red area on the outside. So you also notice that at this point, when I started fighting Mossclaw again, his health was a lot higher because she healed him while he was invulnerable. So we're going to have to go back and forth between DPS and Mossclaw. Okay, there the red area came in again, and we're still hitting Mossclaw, and he's going to get down. He's almost going to. Okay, puts up his shield again, or she puts it up, and now notice I'm ranging her. I'd like to melee her, but I'm not going to go stand in the red area. So make sure you have some kind of ranged DPS on whatever build you bring in here. I'm also maintaining stand tall. That's a lot. I got a lot of healing, and there when my Eternal Weapon procced, you see I have an alert for that. The EW, I hit stand tall on myself, and my alert went away. All right, so now we're getting knocked back, and I'm actually moving to the edge of the safe zone and then turning him around. And I'm just going to let him knock me back and forth inside of the safe zone. And so that's why Thunderous Stomp is really not a danger. So he's going to knock me back again, take a couple steps back, or not, and then turn him around, and just let him knock me back and forth. Okay, he's about to go invulnerable again. And her shield comes off, so now we can hit her. I think this may be the last time we attack her. But the red area is not going to come in any further than where it is right now. All right, so he's been healed up again to like 65–70% or so. And Gonna knock him down again. And, well, we get punted back and forth. Okay, back up, turn him around. She did not leave, so we're gonna have to attack her one more time. And at this point, you've basically seen everything you need to see. I'm gonna let this play out, and then we'll move on. There's my alert for my stand tall again, bottom right. My eternal weapon is procced, so I hit stand tall on myself. And I'll mention, you only want to cast stand tall when your eternal weapon is procced, like it is right now. Highly recommend having that alert for the eternal weapon proc, because stand tall will actually do approximately 10 times as much healing if you cast it with the eternal weapon procced. Okay, so she disappeared, and so he's not going to get any more healing, and now we're just going to work him down to 0. And we're still getting knocked back and forth, and we never did see another fungal bloom. We have a little time here. I'm just going to mention that I'm not going to show any of the fights with the trash mobs, but in between the bosses, there are some trash. All I'm going to say is focus the warlocks first, because they summon adds. It's called summon vespids, and they summon a lot of them, so always kill the warlocks first and interrupt them if you can. Here's the dungeon map. We're going to go back to that gate in the center, and then through it, and then to the southwest, and that's the location of boss number 2. All right, this is boss number 2, Hollowwood, and this Hollowwood cannot be damaged directly by us, and so in order to bring him down, what we have to do is defeat these twisted hives. There are 4 hives around the room, and each one will take his health down 25%. So kill 4 hives and you win. Now, you'll notice these hives have this buff called Corrupting Influence, which makes them immune. In order to remove that buff, you have to kill a green spirit near the hive. So the boss is going to summon spirits. If you bring a green spirit near the hive and kill the spirit, the hive becomes vulnerable, then you kill the hive. However, there will be green and blue spirits. If you kill a blue spirit near the hive, it adds a stack of the buff, so that's counterproductive. So you want to make sure you kill the green spirits near a hive and kill the blue spirits somewhere other than near a hive. So maybe out in the middle of the room somewhere. Now, in the meantime, the boss is basically an annoyance, and he will be throwing an ability called Release Bees. And so I'm going to make an alert, or I have made an alert. For Release Bees, it looks like this. So it checks to see when Released Bees is being cast by my focus target. Now it's important that we use this on the focus target, because we're going to be targeting the spirits and the hives to kill them. We won't be targeting the boss. And of course I'm going to focus the boss for the duration of the fight. Alright, and I think we're ready to go. I'm going to get my stand tall on. Just hit the boss once to start the fight, and I'm going to bring him over near a hive, and I'm going to wait for him to summon the spirits. Alright, he's summoning spirits, and he's going to summon 4 spirits, and some of them will be green, some of them will be blue. The exact number changes. For some reason I'm taking damage. must have missed release bees. Alright, so I'm going to kill this green spirit near the hive. Alright, there's my... Getting hurt again? Not sure why. Now I'm going to target the hive, and I can now damage the hive. But notice, I want to keep an eye on the health of the blue spirit, because sometimes their health goes down. Not sure why. But again, if the blue spirit dies right here next to the hive, it'll buff the hive. That green spirit almost dead also. I don't want it to die here. Okay, well, the hive ran out of juice, has the buff again. Let's see if killing this green spirit will bring it back and make it vulnerable. It did. Okay, so one hive is down. Both of the green spirits are dead, and there are only 2 blue spirits. In order to get more green spirits, I've got to finish killing all four of the spirits, so I've got 2 left. So notice I'm killing the blue ones out in the middle of the room, so they don't buff the hive. Let's interrupt. Alright, so now move over to the next hive and kill another green spirit. Oh, we got 4 green spirits this time. I've never seen that. That's good luck. Fortunately, 2 died. I was hoping to just kill 1. But... So the spirits, for some reason, do that sometimes, even though you're not targeting them, not hitting them directly. Sometimes they're... Like that one right there is losing health. And I'm not sure why I'm hurting him. It's a little odd. I'm not sure why. But this hive went immune again. Interrupt. Alright, so I'm going to kill this spirit here. And that allows me to finish the hive. Okay, got 2 more hives to go. See if I can kill this hive before it goes immune again. Basically a race against the clock. Yeah, I think that time I was not facing the boss, and so he got release bees off because my interrupt didn't work. I wasn't looking at him. See, that twisted spirit is trying to die right there. His health is going down. I might have to drag him away and kill him. Alright, he doesn't seem to be taking damage now. Alright, that was the 4th hive, and this boss is done. Alright, this is boss number 3. You'll find that bosses 3 and 4 are much easier than bosses 1 and 2. This fight is very straightforward. This will be the way it appears when you first encounter this boss, and what I'm going to do now is run around the area of the fight outlined with the little blue dots on the ground over to this side, and I'm going to pull the horse from here because I'm closer, so it's just a good place to get within range. So I'm going to sneak up to the little blue dots, and then I'm going to range him and back up, and the goal is to get the horse Lunaria just outside the blue dots. So if you look at the targeting circle at Lunaria's feet, the center of the circle is outside the wall. There's a little glitch in the wall on the left side here. I don't think that part of the wall matters. So again, this fight is very straightforward. There are no interrupts, and there are no mechanics, at least doing the fight this way, there are no mechanics to worry about. Lunaria at times will run off and charge across the area of the fight and leave a trail on the ground, and you don't want to step in that. But since we're not going into that area, we're not at risk of doing that. So every time the horse runs off, I'm just going to wait right here, and she'll come back. So there you see she leaves the trail on the ground, and that's something you don't want to step in. And that's all there is to this fight. I'll just let it run its course. She's already down about 20%, or to about 20%. And once this fight is over, there will be a little conversation. We're going to turn around and look up the next path, and we will see a glowing wall, which we can't get through until the conversation ends, and then the wall drops. So if you just give it a few seconds, it'll allow you to go forward. All right, she ran off one more time, and now she's down, probably from a dot or something. All right, so now Tuath'de talks a little bit, and there's the green wall. Oh, it disappeared real quick. All right, this is boss number 4. This one is also fairly straightforward. We're going to fight at where the dragon spawns in the center of this room. There's the dragon. And the dragon does at least 2, if not 3 mechanics. Not very dangerous. One is a tail swipe, but we'll always be in front of the dragon, so we don't worry about the tail swipe. The tail swipe may also do a knockback. I'm not sure if the knockback is a separate mechanic, but once in a while you will get knocked back, and usually when you get knocked back, the dragon will also do a frontal cone breath attack. And so what you do is you step to the side out of the cone and get back in melee range. So there's the knockback, there's the cone. So just run out of the cone. It's not very deadly. Just get back in melee range. I usually get as close as I can so that the knockback, doesn't send me as far. And I can get back in, or get out of the breath, and then get back to the dragon quickly. And that's all there is to this fight. You just step out of the breath weapon and move back to the dragon. That's all there is to it. And the dragon's at about 65% now. So again, I will just allow this fight to finish out. And I hope these videos, or this video, was helpful. I called it these videos because I did them separately and then pasted them together into one dungeon. All right. So, warriors, have fun getting your offhand weapon, getting it upgraded, and good luck.